Welcome to the third Fantasy Football Google Plus live hangout. I'm Jed Pitman, one of the original developers of the fantasy football game in the Daily Telegraph, hanging out from the beautiful city of Bristol today. We're going to be talking about the Euro 2012 semi-finals, of course, and we're discussing who's playing well so far in the competition, who in the remaining squads is worth having in your team, and any injury news as well to look out for. Joining me in the hangout, hanging out from their office, is Gary Parkinson, editor of 442.com. Good afternoon to you, Gary.
Hello, Matt. How's it going?
Very well indeed. And we also have Lance Bennet, a seasoned fantasy football player. Afternoon, Lance. Where are you today?
I do. Still in Ipswich. Can't get out of the place.
What a marvellous place that is. Now let's ask each of you about the most significant event so far in this competition. Is it the England getting knocked out again in the quarter-finals on penalties, Lance?
It's almost a formality now, isn't it, of us getting knocked out in penalties. It's a shame, but it happened. And to be honest, I wasn't as disappointed. Well, I was obviously disappointed, but I wasn't as surprised or aggrieved as I have been in the past when we've lost, because there was no contentious issues in the game. We were poor. We didn't deserve to win. Italy were by far the best team in that game. So it's just one of those things, isn't it? We as Englishmen get over it.
Yeah, we seem to, Gary. Lance is absolutely right. We didn't deserve to go through, but that's not always the way that football works, is it?
No, but it most emphatically was this time. Italy certainly deserved to beat us. What was it, 36 shots to 9 or something like that? You really can't argue with the possession statistics. England seemed to have got it more or less right at the back. It's just the transition from defence to attack. England can't create enough, apart from offset pieces, and that's not going to get you much unless you're Greece in 2004.
We have supposedly the best league in the world, yet we can't find a decent national team. Why is that?
There's any number of reasons. How long have we got? We'll be here till Christmas, or perhaps Brazil 2014. I think there's a fear of playing intelligently. I was covering some of the games 4-4-4-2 on Twitter, and there was a period where we had possession. England had possession for 5 minutes, and we're just knocking it about calmly. Twitter was abuzz with England need to get it forward. We need to hit the big man. Hit Les. Can we not knock it? Everybody maligned Taylor for that wonderfully inopportune documentary, but that is pretty much the English attitude. And until that changes, we're going to struggle to get past the quarter-final.
Away from England, Lance, what has been your favourite moments of the last week or two?
Well, probably Ronaldo's performance in the last match was amazing, and to be honest, he's kind of carried the team through to the semi-final single-handedly almost. A lot of people are saying he's the best player in the world at the moment. I think he probably is better than Messi. He's certainly a better header of the ball than Messi. So arguably he is the best player in the world. In fact, my friend Ash seems to think that he is the best player ever. But what does he know? He doesn't take penalties, so thank God.
He does seem to have, though, pretty much everything. Great skills, great dribbling, old-fashioned dribbling in a way, although he does it in a fancy manner. And I guess the best thing about him is he's performing at his best just when his country needs him, and that's not the case with the English players, who sometimes, Wayne Rooney had a poor game the other day, maybe the service wasn't that great, but, our best players don't seem to perform when they really need to, and Ronaldo very much does.
Yeah, definitely. I think we really struggled going forward, didn't we? I mean, Ashley Young kept tracking back the whole time, and there was no kind of, we get the ball to Rooney, but he kept losing it, and then we brought on Carroll, and again he was dangerous from set pieces. But we never looked like getting the ball up to him for anything else, and it was just a bit of a damp squib, really, wasn't it?
At the moment, Ronaldo isn't right at the top of the list of point scorers. So you've got Ozil doing very well. Hasn't quite made the headlines, Gary, that Ronaldo has made, but clearly a very fine player who, thanks to the amount of 6 key contributions so far, has given him 26 points. He's a man that we did talk about prior to the tournament, and he hasn't let anyone down.
Indeed, he's been in my fantasy team since the off. Cristiano Ronaldo is a fantastic player. I think I may really dislike being in the same team as him. Because hasn't he had something? Hasn't he had easily the most shots in Europe for the last 5 years? And yeah, he's at the top of a very good team. But on the other hand, Özil is part of the team, and he's one of the main focal points of the Germany team. But he definitely works within a framework. And I can't imagine you get many people complaining that Mesut Özil is a greedy player.
Yeah.
And he's certainly doing the job for a very efficient yet exciting German team.
Yeah, it's almost with football, we end up with almost stereotypes, racial stereotypes, if you want, of various countries. And the Germans, of course, have always, to us, have been very efficient. And not though this time. They're a far more exciting team than that. And thanks to Özil, and then he's been helping out Mario Gomez, who has got 25 points with 3 goals and 1 key contribution. It shows how well their team works together.
Indeed. I mean, early on against Holland, for example, the Dutch were dominating possession. They had far more passes, but they were trying to do things individually. The Germans just popped it about when they had it in deep midfield, and then Schweinsteiger only passed to Gomez twice in the half, and George McFly scored twice. So it works. It's the old individualism against teamwork thing, which is as old as the hills. But Germany certainly have the team that's a framework within. Other great things can happen.
And that's turning it to fantasy football and scoring points. That's exactly what you need. You need people to supply the balls to the strikers, and the strikers to get points that way, Lance.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, talking of players that kind of carry the team, and certainly the other night against England, Pirlo almost single-handedly carried Italy, didn't he? And his penalty was just amazing and was sublime, wasn't it? But he was by far the best player in that game. It'll be interesting to see how Germany handle him on Thursday. Can they keep him quiet? That's kind of going to be the key, one of the key battles, I think, trying to keep Pirlo quiet in that game.
He is the third leading scorer with 24 points, 1 goal, 1 key contribution, and of course that penalty. I thought he was going to miss it and end up doing an advert for Harvester, but it didn't quite work out. But not to worry, he is obviously a very fine player. And you mentioned Ronaldo, he's 4th in the list currently, but he is the man, I guess, as we're going forward now into the semi-finals, he's the man that you simply would have to have in your team, right?
Definitely, yeah.
You'd be 100% of teams.
Well, definitely. I saw a stat the other day where he's had more shots this tournament than England have had in their entire squad this tournament. He's had 30, England have had 29 shots on target. So, yeah, he's the player to have, isn't he?
Well, he's not scored 30 goals though. That comes back to the point about efficiency. You might be annoyed if you were the striker in that team. But yeah, I've finally caved in and gone for Cristiano as my only Portuguese representative in my team. So I mean, he does the business. You don't get penalised in fantasy football for incomplete passes. So.
No.
Or shots wide.
You say you finally brought him in, he's your only Portugal player. Therefore, Gary, you're giving no chance to Portugal of getting through to the final.
It's not so much that. I think that Portugal are as close as we've got to, again, that individual idea. They're as close as we've got to the Maradona '86 team when Argentina won the World Cup. That they are very definitely about him, and to an extent Nani as well. But that's their strength, whereas you can see danger coming from everywhere in the other teams, or certainly from a much wider choice of players.
At the outset, Lance, we talked a lot about the fact that 6 different countries have won it in the last 6 tournaments. There's been surprises with Denmark, with Greece. This competition has been just the opposite. The cream has very much come to the top.
Yes, definitely. I mean, there's only Portugal there that haven't won it, I think, isn't there? So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a Spain-Germany final. You would probably think, going on their form so far this tournament. So yes, who knows? Who knows who's going to win? I hope that Spain win, as I have them in the office sweepstake. But but we just see.
I mentioned, of course, I finished the last Google Plus Hangout we did by suggesting that I thought that Russia would win. That night they went out, and we had Stuart Mill talking about Greece being the worst possible time for the physio. They were the worst side in the competition and went through. But really, that's been the only real surprise of the tournament so far. Well, maybe Holland's performance, losing all 3 games.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's no, people were saying about Ireland maybe doing something. They barely turned up, it's probably there has been no big surprises at all really, which is a bit of a shame really, isn't it? It's nice to see the underdogs do well, but
It's not to say it's been an uninteresting tournament. It's been fun to watch, and the quality has been high, particularly in the group stages. Quarterfinals didn't really set on fire. But let's see what happens from here on in. I mean, it doesn't all have to. Sometimes when the underdog wins, it can be grease grinding the way to triumph in 2004, and that wasn't a good watch.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens in the last 3 games.
So we've got Spain versus Portugal tomorrow. Who's going to win that one? Then we've already really suggested that you think Spain are going to do it. What is it going to be easy for them?
Well, it depends which Spain turns up, doesn't it? I mean, if will they play with any strikers? Will they play with the 6-man in the midfield? I don't know. It's difficult to guess. In terms of fantasy football, I hope that they do have some strikers playing, because I've got Torres in my team and he's done nothing so far.
That has been really awkward for the fantasy football manager, the fact that they haven't played strikers for the majority of the tournament.
It's been an absolute nightmare, because you cannot predict who they're going to play, and from the outset they didn't. I think in the first game they played with no out-and-out strikers, which were my plans, I have to say. But yeah, it's difficult to predict what team's going to be out there tomorrow, I think.
Well, I understand that from looking at the stats here, that the more than 50% of the teams, you've got David Silva. It's not a great tournament so far, but he's the most selected player. Does that surprise both of you?
Not for me. I mean, he had a good season in the Premier League. He's fairly influential, isn't he? In pretty much a lot of the goals, he's there or thereabouts up front, isn't he? So no, not for me. I think he's one that I need to look at getting in my team, certainly.
So he's not there yet.
No.
He's another one that's been in my team since the outset, and I didn't substitute him before the semi-finals. So he's got a goal and 3 contributions. So he's got 22 points. He's keeping his place deservedly. But yeah, Spain, unlike Portugal, haven't got that focal point, so you can't go him. He's the man that's going to get the goals. I went for closer for Germany at the beginning of the tournament. I've swapped him out for Mario Gomez now. So presumably closer will start the semi-final.
How much do penalties? How much do you concentrate now on a penalty shootout? We've only obviously had one so far. Naturally, it involved England, but points are to be scored and to be lost during penalty shootouts in this competition. So how much do you kind of govern your team around that, or you just hope there isn't going to be that case at the end of a game?
I think it's difficult. I mean, you have to look at making sure. First off, making sure you've got 11 players that are going to be playing. So you need to get your goalkeeper in there who can make some saves. Buffon got a lot of points the other night, making that save and keeping a clean sheet. So for me, I would think if there's going to be a shootout, it'll probably be the Germans.
And naturally they will win the shootout, right?
Well, of course, yes, of course. The German machine.
They're just going.
The German machine will just.
You're falling into those stereotypes again, now. The German machine.
It is true, though, and Italy are not much better than England at penalty shootouts. Yeah. Italy, Holland, and England are the dunces of world football when it comes to the penalty shootout. So. I don't quite know why I've got Buffon in goal for me, but he's been there since the off, and he didn't let me down the other night, although that was not, I must admit, at the front of my mind at the time.
Naturally, you've both been studying every single player to make sure your sides are absolutely right. Let's take a look at the teams now that you've got. We've got to do a little screen grab here. Lance, you think you're going to go first on this?
Yeah,
if we just bear with you to put up your team so you can see exactly who we've got for you going into the semi-finals. There we have it. Just talk us through it. Why you've still got some English players in there. So
yes, yeah. I've got to take them out. I'll do them before tomorrow night's game. It's just a case of seeing who's going to play really. But yeah, it's pretty Spain and Germany heavy, isn't it? It's kind of just ended up that way, really. I've had Özil for most of the tournament. Lahm I've had since the start. He's proved to be really influential in my team in getting where I am. But other than that, I've kind of rotated the strikers, and I'm left with Torres and Gomez. So let's see what happens tomorrow night.
When you get to this point of a competition and you've got a Spanish striker up against a German goalkeeper, is that going to be something that will change when you get to the final if both sides get through? Do you have to have the goalkeeper at the same side as your strikers so they're not scoring points against each other?
I think at that stage it'll be how many transfers I have left. At the moment I've got 6, so I need to take out the 2 English players, and then it's a case of seeing who gets through. If Portugal get through, I'm in deep doo.
215 points. Where does that put you?
I think I'm in the top 5,000, something like that. I can't remember exactly my position, but yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. Well, let's have a look at your...
top of the Super League anyway. So.
Oh, well, that's all that matters to you. I know that, Lance. It's all about winning in the office, isn't it?
Exactly.
What about your side, Gary? Let's see if we can get a screen grab of yours and take a look. I know it takes just a few seconds to come, but there we go. You have already made your transfers then, by the looks of things.
I have. I eschewed the substitution until before the semi-finals, and I've made a whopping 7 changes to my side. I brought in Jordi Alba and Bonucci at the back, partly because they're affordable, but also because they can get forward and create problems at the other end, which you always like in your defenders of a fantasy football team. Who else have we brought in? Fabregas and Pirlo. I've brought those in because they were affordable, and I've changed my entire front line as mentioned. I dropped closer for Mario Gomez, Mario Balotelli's come in as well, and Cristiano Ronaldo. So no Spanish strikers, but a striker from each of the other nations. And I've got 17 transfers left, so I might just make transfers for fun.
Finally, there's both of you have got a lot of very familiar names in there who have done extremely well throughout the tournament. Clearly you're going on form. Are there any players either of you would consider who maybe hasn't had a great tournament so far, but this is their moment? They're going to leave it to the very best for this.
Well, possibly, while you freeze and try and come back, we'll carry on. I do have a feeling, now I've changed closer for Gomez, I do have a feeling that the big man will come in and score a couple against Italy, which would be doubly annoying considering I've got Buffon in the team as well. What about you, Lance?
Yeah, well, I'm sticking with Philipp Lahm the whole tournament. I think he'll have another good semi-final. So I'm hoping that it's almost fairly low scoring, certainly in terms of my defenders. And strikers, I don't know. Torres, can he score? Will he ever score again? I mean, who knows? But
he's always likely to come on and score the second goal, isn't he?
Well, exactly. Yeah, but I'm not sure on his penalty prowess. I don't know if he can take penalties. I've never seen him take one.
I don't recall it, and I'm sure he can take a penalty, and he will do.
Well, yeah.
I'm interested. Yeah. I was interested to see because you've got Manuel Neuer in goal, and he's much more popular than Buffon from the statistics, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think it's purely because I think because Germany have just done so well, haven't they? And they've, if anyone's going to keep clean sheets, it's pretty much Germany. They totally destroyed Greece the other night.
Yeah. See, I'm still not sure about that. I still think there's a soft centre in the German defence.
Mm.
I think Mats Hummels is having a good tournament, but other than that, Lahm's okay as well. But you still suspect that when Germany come up against a real top-line team, they might get picked off. We'll see, anyway.
Well, we'll see. Certainly Italy. I don't think Italy are the top-line team that they will cause any problems. But
dangerous. We'll see.
I'm back with you now. I don't know where I disappeared somewhere. I'm not sure whether you got the question about the players that you would be looking at. You both got players in your teams there that are, established players, well-known players that have done really well in the tournament. Anyone that you would now look at who you're thinking about bringing it, or you haven't got in your team, who would be a real surprise? Someone, who's not set the tournament alight so far, who might just do so now.
Ashley Young. Oh no.
To be honest, I can't think of anyone that's going to set the tournament alight that hasn't already been mentioned. I don't know. Torres, can Torres, yeah, as I was just saying, Torres could.
Sorry, there's a possibility that Marco Reus, because unusually, Jogi Löw changed the German team just before the quarter-final, didn't he? He changed his front three. He didn't just bring in Klose, he also brought in Marco Reus, Rolls Royce, as they like to call him. And he scored a good goal, and he could set the world on fire now. So that's a little tip for you people. If you want an outsider that's not yet contributed much, it could be him.
There you go. There's one from you. Lance has jest out the question and said that no one's going to do it. Thank you very much, Gary, for at least playing ball there. So finally, let's finish off then. We've had the predictions right from the start. Gary, if I remember rightly, did you say Germany right from the start of this competition?
I think I said there were 6 teams could win it, and there's 4 left. But Germany, I think if pressed, I think I did say Germany. I'm still slightly concerned that they may spring a leak at the back, but yeah, let's go for it.
And Lance, you're sticking to Spain, Lance, are you?
Well, I did say Germany, but in terms of winning money, I'm going to say Spain. I want to win that sweepstake. I need the money.
Well, Gary will be heading straight to Ipswich then, if that is the case, for a good night out. Lads, it's been brilliant to talk to you both. Thanks very much indeed. I think personally it's been a really good tournament. I'm definitely not, having said Russia will win it last time, I'm not going to bother with any kind of prediction who's going to win out of these 4 sides. Okay, let's do it. Let's go Portugal. So we've got 3 of the 4, so now we know that Italy will win it because none of us have given them a chance. So that's who we'll go for. Thanks very much indeed. Enjoy the final 3 games of the tournament. And good luck to you all in the semis and everybody watching as well, every of our fantasy football managers. And don't forget to follow us on Google+. Thank you very much indeed for watching. We appreciate it.
Well.
Bye-bye.